So again, there's not enough seats. It looks like if you were here before, I understand you wanting to be in here, but this is about giving everyone a chance to be in here and be a part of this decision in this community. Please, you can watch on the fourth floor. I'm not even going to start for some of you until you allow others to come in. Thanks. Nope. There's privilege.
I would like to introduce an amendment to this motion, please.
Okay.
And the amendment would read as such. Strive High School can be co-located for 2 years until DPS can find another structure for Strive High School, or Strive High School is located permanently at Remington School. The choice is up to Strive High School. Number 2, if Strive goes to North for 2 years, the athletic facilities and other shared space will A, require Strive to participate in North's activities, or Strive will have to reserve space like all other community organizations. 3, if Strive goes to North, they may not use the cafeteria for those 2 years, just as Strive Highlands currently does not. Number 4, following the stakeholder working group recommendations, DPS will develop a feeder pattern for the Northwest sector within 6 months from now. If Strive Highlands moves to Remington, there will be a domino effect on Tre Vista and Skinner, and it is incumbent upon this district to address those issues before we make a decision.
Second.
Okay.
And so I won't support the amendment as it stands, but I do think there are some really interesting and worthy ideas that are worth considering as they move forward. And as the people who rightfully have the responsibility to make these decisions in co-location, consider them.
Okay, Ms. Merida.
Vice President Haynes, what I'd like to suggest is maybe that you offer a friendly amendment. I mean, we're here to make this a win-win situation. Maybe we need to hear it again, and we can find some things to massage that it can be mutually, let's look for a win-win.
Ms. Kaplan?
That's actually what I was going to suggest. If there are things where we can have a starting point and we can actually get to consensus following Mr. Lincoln, I would like to try and do that. So if I'm happy to tender a friendly amendment, if there are things that you can live with, should we start there or should we start with the things you don't like?
About what?
If my amendment, I have nothing in this except that to do the right thing. I'm okay to find another way to make this a winning solution for everybody. So if it isn't my amendment, come forward with something where we don't leave this room with another yet more divided community.
Okay, Ms. Merida, and then I'm going to call the question.
I'd like to ask, Madam President, that you allow us to take a short recess for about 10 minutes so we can, it looks like the amendment is going to be printed out so we can put it on a table in front of us, and I think we should probably take a few minutes to see where we can come to a win-win.
Okay, I already know because I spent all morning and most of the afternoon trying
I'd like
to find this. So, and Ms. Haynes?
Well, I'm willing to try.
5 minutes.
To work with it. I don't know that we have anything to lose at this point, but if people obviously feel that they don't want to talk about it.
It's not talking about it. I think people have already looked at it.
Figuring out how we can make this okay if there is a way to make it okay.
Okay, so the way we're going to decide this is if you vote yes on the amendment, you can read it, and then someone can propose another amendment if there's something different than they want on it. So seeing as that, Jeannie's read this twice. You have it in front of you. I'm going to go ahead and call the question, like I said I was going to vote on Jeannie's amendment to the original resolution that would replace Which section, Jeannie?
Everything, basically, from the first two whereases.
Okay. Okay, so roll call.
Talk about not being prescriptive. This is pretty prescriptive.
Well, and I will interject then, because what makes it so prescriptive is that we worked with the community over a 3-week period to get to the original. Okay, that's right, but that's why it's still there, because we were honoring that process before. Ms. Lambelat?
Dr. Easley?
No.
Ms. Haynes?
No.
Mr. Jimenez?
Aye.
Ms. Kaplan?
Aye.
Ms. Merida?
Wait, I have a friendly amendment.
No,
No,
we're
point
finishing
of
voting.
order, we got it.
I've called the question. Please go. Please.
Yes.
Ms. Rowe?
No.
Ms. Sewell?
No. So the amendment fails. So now we are back to the original motion about the placement of Strive.
Folks, I really want to commend the principal, former principal of Skinner and current principal of North High School, Nicole Veltze, for making such great strides in the middle schools in Northwest Denver with the help of all the Choose Northwest Middle Schools Now and all the parents out there in the Northwest Community Committee. And I want to ask if you make it so difficult for Principal Veltze, to my colleagues, if you make it so difficult that, God forbid, that she resign or that she can't fulfill her mission, I expect you to resign as well. And that's all I have to say.
Dr. Easley?
There was a question about what is the role of this board. I think that's important to address. We live in a representative democracy, and although you hear rhetoric about folks that don't trust the government, we are fortunate to live in a country where the government is of the people, for the people, and by the people. And so if you are not happy with the decisions that the representatives make sure that during the election you get engaged and that you make sure that you vote for some representatives that are going to represent your perspectives on this board.
It has been genuine and it has been real, and there was not a predetermined outcome. We made the decision in June to place Strive at North. You know, we never asked them to weigh in on North. We had already made that decision. The ridiculous way that the superintendent and members of this board is portrayed makes me sick. And I understand that this isn't going the way people want, but we have worked incredibly hard to try and find another solution. We have worked tirelessly to do it to the 11th hour. And it has been genuine and it has been real, and there was not a predetermined outcome. We handed this over and it didn't work. It has been genuine and it has been real, and there was not a predetermined outcome. We made the decision in June to place Strive at North. Okay, so I want to talk for just a second. You know, I think this comment's been made to me several times, and it's really true. This isn't just about a facility. This isn't just about the number of students in a building. It's about two schools. You know, it's about a community that believes desperately that North High School is going to be and can be a high-performing, amazing option for all children in Northwest Denver, a view I share. It's also a community that believes in the opportunity for its kids and its students to be, in many cases, its first generation of going to college, and opportunities we don't provide enough of in this district, which is just a fact. And to have two schools come forward and be willing to, you know, fight so hard for our students is something that tonight, right now in this conversation, we're losing. We're losing that focus, and that something that especially the stakeholder working group, but the parents and community of North and Strive have been so careful, 95% of the time with each other, to respect each other. And I don't want this board to lose that and not to follow the same model and example that the people in this room have shown. I just want to talk for a minute just to replay about the history of the stakeholder working group and why that was done. We spent months, and it came down to weeks, and then it came down to a crunch of about 48 hours to work with the two leaders of the school and key members of the Northwest Denver community to try and figure out a process to move forward around finding a different location. We made the decision in June to place Strive at North. But we allowed for this group to come forward and that they could find a better solution and figured out through consensus, and that was key, that these two communities would need to agree and come to consensus on an alternate, that we would try and make that happen and we would try and make that work. And they did. They found 5 different options, had consensus on those. It wasn't Remington, We never asked them to weigh in on North. We had already made that decision. But they came forward and they did their work in a true good faith way, and I can't leave tonight without really thanking them and recognizing them. 3 of those did not have the support of the school communities. I understand the people that are saying, neither did North, but that's not the job we gave them. We had already made that decision. You can disagree or agree, but that's where we were. And then the third one, at Lake, really allowed for another way to see this. It said you're going to need to build another facility, and that opened the door for the last 2 that the group came to consensus on. And I want to just say, the ridiculous way that the superintendent and members of this board is portrayed makes me sick. And I understand that this isn't going the way people want, but we have worked incredibly hard to try and find another solution. We have worked tirelessly to do it to the 11th hour. And it has been genuine and it has been real, and there was not a predetermined outcome. We handed this over and it didn't work. We couldn't figure out another way. And those of us that supported the placement at North always felt that that was a good option. We recognized that it might not be the best. But that's where we are today. I want to start again with what I said in the beginning, that I realize this is not about a facility. If this was just about a facility, we're doing an equal swap of a Strive Middle School for a Strive High School. The resolution is incredibly clear that the classroom space has to come in the 1913 building, not in the main building of North High School. I got so many texts and calls from people who have been told incredibly different things, and when I talked to them, they said, why was I not told this piece of it? However, there are other key issues, and I am not denying that those are really important, but this is not about the space. This is about something different. And to me, the most important thing that this is about is the vision of what North High School is going to be and can be. I had so many people, and we heard them tonight from people saying, if you do this co-location decision, I will not send my child to North. Well, shame on you. Well, shame on you. This is going to be an incredible high school. This is going to be an incredible high school.
The Board of Education institution is not flawed. We have flawed leadership. The real reform we need doesn't start with the many excellent teachers at DPS. The reform needs to start in this room.
That's right.
If the current board's leaders aren't capable of authentic, independent leadership, then the people of Denver will find leaders with the wisdom and the courage needed to offer students a quality education. I believe it's time for the people of Denver to take their Board of Education back, and then take their neighborhood schools back.